Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Study in UK webinar. I'm Tanmoy and I'm the counseling head at MeetUnif. So, just give you a brief introduction about myself. I'm myself a UK alumni. I did my master's at the University in Birmingham from the UK in the year 2008-2009. And right now, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about studying UK. What are the things you need, and what are the career opportunities and other factors. So, first of all, I would like to give you an introduction about UK. So the UK, also known as the Great Britain, it consists of four member nations. So I think you know about England. So England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. These are the four member nations of the United Kingdom. This part is Ireland. This is Ireland, which is the basically the Republic of Ireland. That's not a part of the UK. This is the English Channel, and this is France, and this part is Holland. So that's all about the geography. I think that's quite enough for this session. Now, an important thing, and I think most of you would like to know about this: why study in UK? First of all, it's a very high quality of educational research. I can say that from my own personal experience. It has got a long tradition of education. There are universities which are ages old, and I'll come back to those factors later on. Next to that, UK degrees are valued globally. They are recognized and valued globally. After UK, you can go to anywhere in the world. You can come back to India, but you can also go to US or Australia or anywhere else in Europe as well. So you won't face any problems. The third important reason I would say is very time and cost effective. The bachelor's in UK, they are 3 years in comparison to 4 years bachelor's in other countries, including US or India. So you basically save save 1 year of time, but that doesn't mean that they are inferior to quality. Basically, the programs are intense. For example, masters in other countries, which are 2 years program, but students spend 30 to 34 weeks in 1 year in those countries. Whereas in UK, it's a 1 year masters, but you will be studying 42 to 44 weeks. So basically, you cover more in less time. So it's very intensive, and it's time and cost effective. Cost effective in the sense because you will spend only 1 year for your masters, so your living cost will come down. And that's why it's time and cost effective. Flexible education system, flexible. The courses are very practical oriented. You'll cover a lot of internships and research projects, and apart from that, they are very customized. In that sense, it's quite flexible. For example, if you want to study computer science and electronics engineering at the same time, it is possible in the UK. There are bachelor courses, for example, bachelor in engineering in computer and electronic engineering, or maybe electronics and electrical engineering. So you can customize your courses. You can choose whatever you want to study. Same, it's not only limited to the field of engineering. You can do it other fields as well. For example, if you want to study engineering and management at the same time, because a lot of students after bachelor's, after engineering, they are confused: shall I go for MTech or shall I go for MBA? In that case, UK could be a very good option because you can do your masters in engineering management. So it's basically you will cover both your engineering modules and management modules. UK is very multicultural, and the people are very friendly. There are more than 100 nationalities in the UK. You will find people from everywhere, from all over the world in the UK. Not only Europe or Asia, but other parts as well. Like there are people from US and Australia who come to UK to study or for employment as well. And you will find people from everywhere. And of course, since I guess the most of the viewers will be Indians, so you will feel like you are at home. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. If you're in London or Oxford or Birmingham or Glasgow or maybe Belfast, you will find a lot of Indian students who are there for temporary period or permanent residents, and some British passport holders. So there are a lot of Indians, so you will never feel like you are alone in the society or something. And other important thing, and which is important for every students, apart from studies, there are a lot of other things to do besides studies. If you want to travel to places, there are a lot of options because, as I said, it consists of four countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So if you want to visit beach or mountain or some forest, there are a lot of options. Apart from traveling, there's a lot of entertainment options as well. The nightlife in UK is very good. Apart from that, if you're crazy about football, I think England or rather UK is the best country for that, because people in UK, they are like, they take football or soccer as a religion. So if you're passionate about football, you will have a great time. So that's all about why I studied in UK. Now I'll break down a little bit about tradition and the scientific or long age traditions about science and education in the UK. Now, as I said, the age-old traditions. Now, for example, the University of Oxford. That's I have written is 1165, but as long as there's proof, I think it's even older than that. University of Cambridge, that's established in 2009. Then University of St Andrews in Scotland is 1410. University of Glasgow, University of Aberdeen, and University of Edinburgh. I mean, these six are the oldest British universities, and as you can see, I mean, these are that much old. So, I mean, they have got a very big reputation and a very rich academic heritage. Again, apart from the tradition, there are some landmark discoveries. I mean, these are some of the prominent, eminent British scientists like Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin. Every people know of these guys, I guess. I mean, the more recently Stephen Hawking, and then all the like Francis Crick, who discovered the DNA structure. Alexander Fleming, who discovered the penicillin. So as you can see, electromagnetic, light bulb, in every field, UK made a lot of contribution. The UK, they made a lot of contribution, and the very basic things as well, like telephone, television, jet engine, modern basis of computers, and the World Wide Web, the internet. I mean, I am getting connected to you through this webinar, so this is possible for these people. So you can all the landmark discoveries and all the basic things, they have been discovered by the British scientists. So it's a really, really land of the intellectuals. Now, a little bit about the EQA universities. I mean, I would like to describe them, categorize them on the basis of region. So, starting from the north, on the top, or rather, Scotland. So, in Scotland, there's our Gordon, Harriet Watt, University of Aberdeen, Glasgow, University of Glasgow, Calvin University, University of Strathclyde, and also the University of St Andrews. I didn't mention it here, but it's there. In Northeast England, you can have University of Sunderland, Teesside University, Leeds Beckett, Newcastle, the Yorkshire is a beautiful countryside. I think most of you people might know that the British or the English countryside is really beautiful. Particularly Yorkshire is really, really gorgeous, especially in the summer. I have been there myself, so it's really gorgeous. And the universities over there are Sheffield Hallam University, the University of Huddersfield, the University of York. Then coming down is the East Midlands. In East Midlands, you can have the University of Nottingham, which is a very good, very reputed university, and the University of Lincoln. In the east of England, there is the University of Bedfordshire and the University of Cambridge, which is a really landmark university. Coming down south, the London South or the London Belt, you can have the University of Oxford, which is the oldest in the world. I mean, if not the world, at least in the English-speaking country, it's like more than 1200 years old or more than 1000 years old, so it's really the oldest. Apart from that, the University of East London, the Imperial College London, Middlesex University, London School of Economics and Political Science, King's College London, University College London, University of West London, all and many more. I mean, I think there are more than 15 or 20 universities in the London area. Then coming to the West Midlands, where I studied, Aston University, the University of Warwick, Coventry University, University of Birmingham, and Birmingham City University. I studied at Aston. I'm an Aston alumni, and I can say all these universities are very good universities. I mean, they might be up and down in the rank tables, but they are just because you have to rank someone higher and someone lower, but they are all very good, very decent, very nice universities. Come to the southwest. In southwest, you'll have University of Bath, Plymouth, University of Bristol, Southampton, University of Exeter, Bournemouth, and University of the West of England. Now let's move on to Wales. In Wales, you can have the University of Cardiff or the Cardiff Metropolitan University, the University of South Wales, and also the Bangor University. There's also the the Swansea University, which is the south of Wales. I have not listed there just because of limited space, but that's also a very good university. Then up north, it's the northwest. You can have the University of Liverpool, University of Manchester, University of Central Lancashire, the Lancaster University, then the University of Bolton, again a very good universities. And in the Northern Ireland, not many universities. There are a few universities, but the two are really good that I have listed here. The Queen's University Belfast is the one of the top 10 European universities, very good research. and the University of Ulster. It's also very good and very good for research. No, so that's all about the universities. There are more than 165 universities. I have listed only quite a few just to give an idea region-wise, geographically. But you can find all the universities in most of the world webs. Now, what you need to study in the UK. So let's get a feel about the entry requirements. If you want to study undergraduates, it could be a bachelor or it could be a undergraduate diploma. You need at least 55 to 60% in your class 12 and minimum 5.5 or 6 in IELTS for good universities. Now, don't get be surprised at why the requirements are low. So it's basically these are the minimum entry requirements. But if you want to end up in good university, in reputed universities in Nottingham, Oxford, or Birmingham, you need more than that. And if you have scored a bit less, say you have scored 50% or 52% in your class 12, no need to be disheartened. I mean, you can go into, you will find some options, and you can also get into the good universities through a foundation program. So what happens in foundation program, you study for 1 year and you get on par with the other students. So basically, for example, you have got 53% or 57% and you want to study in say Manchester, University of Manchester, and Manchester requires maybe 65 or 70% or maybe 80% in your 12. So what happens, you apply for a foundation program, you study for 1 year, and after 1 year of study you can get into the main program, which is your bachelor's program after the foundation year. For the postgraduate, the same, the minimum eligibility is the same. It's 50 to 55% in your bachelor's, and it's a 3 year bachelor's. UK does recognize 3 years bachelor's. It's not like US or some other countries which require a 4 year bachelor's to do a postgraduate. You need 50 to 55% in bachelor's, and it varies stream to stream. If you're from engineering, you need much more than that, maybe 70 or 75%. But yeah, if you are studying commerce or arts, then yeah, 50-55% from good universities will be good enough. For example, if you're from Delhi University or Mumbai or University of Calcutta, I think with 58% in English or history, you can get into good universities. But yeah, if you are studying some technical subjects, engineering or maybe BBA, you need more than that. Same in IELTS, for you need at least 6 or 6.5 for most of the good universities. In fact, for some other universities, you might need more than that. Maybe you need 7 in IELTS for some universities. So you have to check individual university websites. For MBA, you do need GMAT, but not for every universities. At Aston, where I studied, they used to ask for GMAT or 2 years of work experience. So whichever you have got. But yeah, at some universities, you will need both, either both 2 years of work experience and GMAT. And for there are some other options as well where you don't need any of them. So as I said, you have to check with all the university where you want to study. Now a little bit of about intakes and deadlines. So intake, the major intake is September, October, which is the spring intake. I beg your pardon. That's the fall intake, which is actually the autumn. So that's the major intake, and then there is another minor intake in January, February. It happens. It runs till April, but that for few programs at few universities. But the major intake is in September, October. And the application deadlines for fall intake, you have to apply between January and April. I would suggest submit your application as soon as possible. It's very important, because what happens, suppose for a program there are only 30 places. Now if someone is fulfilling the minimum entry requirements, the university will issue first come first serve basis. So 50% of seats are allocated for the people who have the minimum requirements and have applied just at the beginning of the application round. What happens towards the end, suppose the deadline is May, and if say for this, suppose the deadline is 30th of May, and if you submit your application on 20th of May, just 2 days before the application is getting closed, you might land into problems. Because what happens, if you will be competing with several other quality students, and it might be possible that other students have got more marks or more better profile than you. So it's better to submit your application as soon as possible, and it's also necessary if you want to apply for scholarship, because for scholarship the deadlines are much more earlier than the actual program application. For example, the Rhodes scholarship, if you want to apply for the September October 2016, you have to apply for the Rhodes scholarship by June 2015. So that's like 18 months or 14 months earlier. So do be careful with these dates, because the deadlines, especially for the scholarship, they are much more earlier. And So my idea will be just check the websites, ask consult with the counselors and other people. You can check on to British Council websites and just get the dates. Costs and durations for most of the undergraduate or bachelor programs, the fees will be 9,000 to 15,000 pounds per year. For postgraduate programs, it starts with 10,000 there, and the range will be 10,000 to 18,000 pounds per year. It's basically 1 year program, so that's it. But for few programs, for example, say if you want to study MBA at University of Strathclyde or University of Oxford, the cost will go up. I mean, Oxford charge I think 28 to 30,000 pounds for MBA. Strathclyde charges 25,000 for MBA. So, but the range will be for most of the programs, it will be 10,000 to 18,000. The cost of living is very important because when you are applying for your visa on the UK border agency or UKVI, the UK visa and immigration agency, they will check if you have sufficient funds or not. So if you are going to study in London, you need to have money which is equivalent to 1,020 pounds per month, and for the rest of the UK it will be 820 pounds per month. So basically, if you multiply it with 9 or 12 months, then you have to show that amount of fund in your bank account. That's regarding the finances that we'll discuss in some other webinar, but this is the basic information about course and durations. Scholarship. Well, you can have a lot of scholarship available. The mainly being from the British Council, the Great Scholarship, the Charles Wallester Scholarship, the Common Scholarship, the Hornby Scholarship, and the IELTS Scholarship. That's a partial one. I think the IELTS Scholarship is around 3 lakhs, and that's a quite handy because what happens sometimes you don't need a full scholarship. Sometimes you need a partial scholarship. So this could be very handy. The IELTS scholarship. If you've got a good marks, good score in IELTS, you can have that 3 lakhs rupees. The Hornby scholarship, that's for the mainly for the arts people who are studying literature and arts. But the Great Scholarship and the Charles Scholarship and the Commonwealth, these are open to students from all backgrounds, all streams. These are some of the website links. You can check out the eligibility criteria and the application deadlines as well. And apart from the British Council, you can apply for scholarship from some Indian bodies, for say Ratan Tata scholarship or Indian Oil or Bharat Petroleum scholarships. I have not listed down there, but you can just Google it and you can have a lot of options. Apart from that, the university, the departments, they offer a lot of scholarships. I got the departmental scholarship from Aston. I mean, for example, if you're course fee is say 12,000 pounds, you can have a 25% or 30% as your waiver. So basically, you have to pay 25% less for your course. So those things are very handy because full scholarship like Great Scholarship or Charles Walls or Rhodes Scholarship, they are very competitive. Yeah, I think maybe only top 1% or even might be less than that people will get that. But partial scholarship, they are like you can have that if you apply on time, and they will be very handy. Now, how to choose a UK university in the UK? Well, there are a lot of factors and a lot of points, but I'll categorize them and on the basis of priority. So first thing you need to check the subject and the departmental rankings, because don't be biased against the overall university ranking, because it might be possible that university which is very at the high end of the league tables, but maybe the subject you want to study might not be that very good. So the subject you want to study, check the reputation of that subject, of that faculty. So check that. And the same as I said, faculty and teaching delivery. So what is this teaching delivery? So what happens there? You'll find two kinds of university in the UK. One is the first is being the research-led universities, research-based, with the research university which spend a lot of money on research, and the second will be a bit teaching based. So what happens in the research based universities, the taught modules or the lectures will be provided by the research students, people who are doing their MPhil or the people who are doing PhD. They will be taking some of the lectures because the professors and the lecturers, they'll be very busy with their research. But in teaching based universities which are not that big, a bit medium in size, those at those universities, if the lecturers, the professors or the assistant professors, they will be delivering the lectures. So it depends on your requirement. If you want to pursue research, then it's good if you go to a research based university. Otherwise, if you want to learn something, if you want really need to have a good solid theoretical background, go to the teaching based universities. Then you need to check your entry requirements. As I said, I mean, there are a lot of universities which accept students with 55%, but there are some universities where you might not get a seat, might not get an offer with even 75%. So basically you have to check the entry requirements. Then of course the fees and your budget, because suppose is your if your budget is 12,000 pounds, I mean, and you if you don't get a scholarship, then you cannot afford a university where the course fees is 20,000 pounds. So check the fees and profile and get your budget sorted out. Then you have to select your universities. After that, then you can choose the university rankings, because you have to just balance it out, the departmental rankings and the university rankings. So you have to balance it out, because if a university is very good in, say, in finance, but the university rankings is very low, then it might not be very good for your overall profile, for your career opportunities. So you have to balance it out. For example, if I give you my example, I did my masters in pharmacology at Aston University. Now the departmental ranking was one of the top five in the UK, and the university ranking was, I think, around 12 or 13. So it was a quite balanced choice in my case. So the overall profile was 12 in the UK, and in the departmental ranking, subject rank, it was, I think it was third or fourth in 2008. So that's how I chose my university. Then you have to check the industry links and the collaborations, the placements. You have to check like where the alumni are going, what are the alumni doing. So you have to research a bit on your own. You have to ask people, ask the alumni around. And today a lot of social media platforms are available. You can get engaged with the alumni or the university representative through webinars and one is to one video counseling sessions. A lot of options are available. Use them. And the last but not the least, I would say the location. Now, what is location? For example, if your budget is a little bit limited, it's better if you study outside London, because in London it is expensive. So it's better to look outside London. And also sometimes it depends on your course. For example, if you want to go into investment banking, or if you want to go into finance and banking, then it's better if you study in a capital region, say in London or Edinburgh, because it's the capital. Then London will be the best for investment banking. Otherwise, if you want to study, say, petroleum engineering, then it's better if you study in Scotland, because in Scotland, the Aberdeen and those regions, they have got their oil distilleries and those oil plants. So it will be better for your profile if you study over there, because you might get a good placement, or you might get associated with the industry people while studying. So it will be better for for your career. So these are the things you need to consider while choosing a university. Now, what after finishing your studies? Well, there are a lot of options. I mean, nowadays, a lot of people are a bit skeptic that, oh no, UK is not a good destination. I mean, people don't get job, or people are not allowed to settle in UK after studies. That's absolutely wrong. I mean, if you are talented, if you have got the skills, if you have got the attitude, right attitude, then there's no problem staying in the UK. As I said, I stayed in the UK for 4 years. I did my masters, then I worked there for 3 years. And if you are talented, if you worked hard, if you make good strategy, then not face any problem. The first option would be the Tier 2 general visa. So after you finish your studies, and if you get a job offer within 3-4 months, you will get the Tier 2 general visa. It will be sponsored by your employer. So you don't need to worry about your visa. Your employer will arrange your Tier 2 visa. Then the next one is the Tier 1 graduate entrepreneur visa. So if you come while studying, if you come up with a good business plan, what you need to do, you need to approach the university, you need to approach the right people in your department, and basically you need to make an application that, okay, this is my business plan, I want to implement this. You have to compete with other students. It's not that everyone who applies will get this one. So basically, for example, in Bristol, University of Bristol and University of Cardiff, I think they have very good success rate. I mean, it's like 1 out of 16 applicants get this visa. So it depends where you are applying, and it also depends on your business plan. As far as I remember, what happens in the UK, if you are standing in a bus stop, like there's a board, electric board, which is a battery controller, electric controller, I'm not sure because I'm not an engineer background. So they basically show the timing, okay, at what time the next bus is going to come in. But what happens in sometimes, if it's a bad weather or something happens, this board goes off. So someone from the University of Cardiff, I think they proposed a plan that I want to get it better organized. That whenever some motion sensor, I think if I'm not wrong, it was something about motion sensor battery. That whenever someone is moving towards the bus stop, the board will glow on. So it will display when the next bus is going to come. So that was a very innovative plan, and I think they got a very good funding. I think they got a £50,000 of funding from the university. So once you submit a good proposal, good business plan, the university will nominate you, and then they will arrange a Tier 1 graduate entrepreneur visa for you. The next one, student visa, Tier 4, and you have to basically extend your student visa, but under the doctorate level. If you studied your undergrad, then you have to study at your master's level, but if you studied your master's, then you have to extend your student visa under the doctorate extension scheme. But just to warn you that it's fine if you want to go for PhD, but PhD is entirely different. If don't do it just for the sake of it. If you're really passionate about research, if you're really passionate about getting into the deep, then go for the PhD, because PhD is not for everyone. So just be careful about that. Now, the popular employment sectors in the UK, I mean, as they all in the countries, IT and engineering, they are always the number one sector, and it's nothing unusual in the UK as well. So you'll have a lot of options, a lot of employment options in the IT and engineering sectors. Then the biomedical and health sciences, then the clean and renewable energy. This is a really booming sector in the UK now, it's because of the world crisis. Because a lot of oil and petrol, they are going. I think they are going to diminish at some stage. Maybe not in the recent future, but maybe 500 years later on, they might get vanished or something might happen. So it's good to invest now in the clean and renewable energy, and the UK is really doing very good. And people who are from the power engineering background or mechanical engineering background will have a lot of job opportunities in that sector in the UK. Finance and investment banking, as I said, is London is kind of the financial hub of the Europe. It's like Mumbai in India, so it's really good for that sector. Media and publishing is also very booming. BBC, a lot of people know about that, and other companies as well. Law, market research, and consulting is other good sector. And pharma and biotech. Lot of if you, I think you know about GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. That's a good one. Then the medicine, dentistry, and allied health professionals. I would like to mention nursing. That's a very good booming sector in the UK. And of course the retail and hospitality, because UK, a lot of tourists go to the UK for vacation. So the hospitality industry in the UK is very big. It's very flourishing. It's very booming, and the recession or those things doesn't hit this kind of industry. I think I have got a question. Just let me check. Sorry, I think someone is getting offline. Anyway, let's continue with our webinar presentation. So yeah, just to give you an idea about all the companies and everything in the UK. So there are a lot of British companies, and most of them are really good, really famous and popular. Most of the people know about them. Like in the telecommunications, IT, and engineering sector, Vodafone, everyone knows about Vodafone. Invensys, I mean, I'm not sure if you know about it, but it's a very good engineering company, engineering firm. I think they do the quality control and quality assurance of the lot of products. Intertech is a very good company. In the automobile and aerospace and travel, there's Land Rover, Jaguar, Rolls-Royce, British Airways, Thomas Cook. In the oil, power, and energy sector, there's BP, the Shell, Power. Well, Shell is not entirely British; it's half British, half Dutch. It's Anglo-British company, so it's basically SCO headquartered in Amsterdam. Then in the banking finance sector and some of the conglomerates, you'll find HSBC, Standard Chartered, Prudential, Standard Life, Barclays, Lloyds, RBS, which is Royal Bank of Scotland, Hinduja Group, Virgin. These are all very good, and most of the people know these are very reputed companies, and these are all entirely British companies. In the pharmaceutical and chemical sector and agricultural, there's GSK, the GlaxoSmithKline, there's AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca is not entirely British, but is headquartered in London. Then there's Hindustan Unilever, there's Reckitt Benckiser, Cadbury. Everyone loves sweet, kuch meetha ho jaye. So that's the plant is in Birmingham, and I was lucky enough to get a view of it. Then the Smith and Nephew, Ten and Lyle, In the media and publishing broadcasting sector, there's BBC, the FT Financial Times, the Sky, NPG Nature Publication Group. Anyone who is into scientific research, I think most of you must know about Nature. So it's a British publication and it's based in London. Read Elsevier, that's not a British entirely, that's half British, half Dutch. So basically, England and Holland, they have got a lot of collaborations, a lot of joint ventures. Thames and Hudson, Parson, these are all British ones and the very reputed ones. In the law, risk, market research, and consulting and insurance sector, there's PricewaterhouseCoopers, Capita, Ernst& and Young, Willis, TNS, Houghton May, Aviva, Bupa. These are most of the people, and these are like they are present in I think maybe more than 60 or 70 countries. In the retail section, there's Mark and Spencer, Arcadia, Barton, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Kingfisher. Don't confuse this Kingfisher with our Kingfisher, the Indian one, which is from Mr. Vijay Malia. This is a different Kingfisher, but that's also a very reputed retail chain. So that's all. And if you need some more information about studying UK, I mean, you can find some generic one, and some more blogs will be coming up on our website. So some of the relevant one are the study abroad MeetUC part one, part two, part three, and of course some other tips to consider before apply for study abroad, overseas education. Then some helpful one on IELTS as well. So you can all have all these relevant blogs on our website. Do read them, and I think it will be very helpful because that's the one of the advice I would like to give to everyone when you are considering studying abroad. Uh, get in touch with as many people as possible and study a lot. I mean, do your research quite a bit. I mean, read blogs, read some of the testimonials. So you have to do a lot of it. I did a lot of it when I was considering studying abroad. And if you have any queries, you can write us at connect@meetuniv.com, and or you can also log on to our website, which is www.meetuniv.com. So yeah, that's it. And thank you for being such a nice crowd. And now I would like to take some questions if there are any. Is there any question? Any questions? All right, then I guess most of the people are very informed, well-educated audience, so that's fine. So that's the end of our Study in UK webinar, and till our next webinar, which is on Wednesday, there are some other interesting topics coming up. And till then, it's goodbye and have a good evening.